Parentcraft was my EPQ. I don't know what to say. It followed 5 different mothers from different backgrounds and different experiences, and they came together in a shocking turn of events. It wasn't that shocking. Yeah, I hope you like the plot twist.
I played Sharon. She is very loud and bubbly, and she kind of like takes control of the whole group. She's kind of a mother figure to everyone else.
My character was Siobhan, and I did really love playing her because I feel like she was mean, but just a bit more like over the top.
My character was Denise, and I loved playing Denise. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, it was really good.
My character was Susan. She was quite sweet. I enjoyed playing her because I kind of channeled myself. She's quite shy, quite reserved, but she kind of got out of her bubble as she got on. And I feel like that's me, especially once I get to know people.
We had my EPQ tutor talk about it before, and I decided that I wanted to do a play end of 2023. It's a 1-scene play, so we did rehearsals from February to obviously May, and then our show's mid-May. 30th of April. It's been in my calendar for a long time because obviously I do all of the admin for the shows before and all the rehearsals. And so I had been in contact with Viva over email for months at this point. And so the 30th of April, it was like imprinted on my brain. And so I collect the girls.
Hannah's driving.
Hello! This is a documentary of Parentcraft, all things production and performance. So Parentcraft is for my EPQ.
What's his holding programmes? We've got a big box of props and costume. Right. I'm here. Thumbs up. We're on the way to the theatre. Lily's running late, that's okay.
Esme will probably be the first to be there.
I felt a little bit like okay because for some reason I just got into this mode of right, we're directing now, or right, we're organising this, and I've got to lead this group of teenage girls, you know, because there's a certain level. They're great. They are so professional, really great actresses. However, at their core, they are still teenagers.
We've arrived. There's Sophie.
Hello.
There's Hannah.
Hello!
Happy, don't I?
Izzy, can you please let someone help you?
No, because I've actually decided No, that's a nice way to do it.
We got to the theatre. We were waiting for everybody to arrive because there was a couple of issues with like transport and stuff. First thing that happens, we wait outside, it's a bit cold, we get into the theatre and a box breaks.
Right, we stop this.
A box containing all of the props, all of the costumes. I don't really know what to do at this point because that wasn't part of the plan.
Izzy, follow.
You should go follow.
That way. Uh-oh.
I got a little bit stressed out, but I didn't want to take it out because, hey, it's not their fault. You know, boxes get dropped. I like to think I was organised, but I think because of that initial shock of like, oh, maybe this isn't going to go exactly how I want it to. Sophie is, you know, MVP of the situation because she knows me quite well anyway, but she was like, right, okay, girls will get to the back. So they kind of got to the back with all the clothes. And by the time I went back there, everything was on racks. So that was sorted. I didn't really have to worry about that. So the getting was quite quick in terms of actually arriving at the theatre for when we started to do the first run. The programmes were my baby because other than rehearsals, that was like how I really kept on top of my work.
Oh. These are our Parentcraft programmes. How cool do they look?
I designed the logo and all of the little additions and I got together all the photos and stuff. So I was really excited.
We're going to show the cast, we'll get their reaction. Now after they're changed and bellied up with their bumps. It is good, isn't it? Here we have our Parentcraft programmes.
Oh, they're so cute.
If you want to have a look.
Directed by Hannah Godfrey, how exciting.
Indeed they are. I'll grab more.
I think for a lot of people it became quite real because they started to see, they're like, oh, I remember that.
What's the programme?
I was actually quite sad when I saw it. I look so bothered.
Or they saw their headshots and that sort of stuff. I think it may have scared a couple of them, but that's probably a good thing because we couldn't have just stayed in the barn of my house for forever. We had to accept that the show was coming quickly.
I would say that's a good reaction. Go for that.
When I first was given the programme, I actually felt a bit emotional because she just wrote some, like, her message inside her director's note was so sweet and I was just so proud of the fact that she'd done this, and it was just really like good to see that it had all come together. Yeah, it made it feel more real.
What's that? That brings me joy.
Oh my god, it just made it feel all like so real. Because before it was sort of like, okay, yeah, we were scared, but it was sort of just like a few friends getting together and doing something that they loved and trying to do something about it. That just made it feel so like serious and real, and like we were actually performing like a big show, and we'd done it all by ourselves, really. It was amazing.
So, has anybody got any main questions from our last rehearsal that we want to go over? Any bits and pieces you want to go over before we do a bit of a staggered run through? You'll be fine. We've got our scripts here. If you need a line, please just shout. I'd like to think not. Oh, I'm feeling a bit nervous. It's going to be great. It's going to be really good. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that I've forgotten. So we've got my little director script, and I'm going to bring my iPad so I can jot down my notes. And then we'll begin.
Pre-rehearsal notes are quite optimistic because I'm happy for there to be mistakes because it's the first time we're doing it in a foreign space. But I was quite naive in the sense that I was like, yeah, it's going to be great. Everyone knows what they're doing. Like, just project, because obviously it's a much bigger space than the barn.
Oh, also, our pickled onions. These are grapes.
Oh, it was terrifying. Like eating a grape and then just choking on it on the middle of the stage. It went okay. I was like eating little mouse bites as we were doing it and tried not to look anyone.
I didn't peel all of them because I didn't have the time for me. Those are peeled grapes. I did that with a knife.
In the script, it was originally meant to be Branston pickle, gherkins, pickled onions, all that sort of stuff because it's pregnancy cravings. But that's not practical for stage. She told me at one of the rehearsals, hey, I tried a gherkin the other day. I actually hate them. And I was like, right, okay. And so I thought next best thing, peeled grapes, because to the audience, it doesn't look any different than like silver skin onions.
A big part of Siobhan's character is that she's constantly eating. It's her pregnancy craving and she won't stop eating pickled products. So we've also got this one, this won't be the same thing. We've got just cucumbers, but to be gherkins.
You get some bourbons. No, it's not going to be bourbons. Can we not do both? It's going to be custard creams. You can get a moulded pack.
That's girl. I really want a bourbon though.
No.
So look down there, there's a whole
pack.
pack. There's a variety pack.
They'd have a mix because they've got some malted milks. That's good.
Quite like a malted milk.
That gives doctor vibes. Beautiful.
Those look delicious.
They do, and
I might
fish
have
on
one in a
plate.
bit. Yeah, it's a bit of a jazzy plate for it all, isn't it? Oh, that was less aesthetic. Sorry about that.
I can't lie, I was very stressed when Hannah was like, you've got wheat biscuits. It wasn't as bad for me as I think it was for others because that was a chunk where I didn't actually speak much, praise the Lords. But it was terrifying because you're like, I want to eat the biscuit, but it's really stressful to know when you've got to speak again. So I usually just like nibbled on it, I guess. But one show I got through like 2, one show I got through half.
Do you feel bad for Lily and Sophie having to eat while acting?
Do I feel bad for them?
Yeah.
No. I had to turn less to my device, which I was making my notes on, and more to the script, which is not my job. And so the worry increased. I got a bit more stressed out, and by the end of it, I hate to say it, but I was a little bit peeved. You know, I can't be on there giving them their every cue, and so I felt a bit exasperated and like, I don't know what I'm going to do from this point.
Lovely. Well done, everybody. Please come out here. Any other thoughts and feelings?
I think it's just kind of annoying when, like, how I have to do a wrap round to get.
I don't see any issue of you coming on and off from there. We had the table like that last time at rehearsal and it wasn't a problem.
It was quite bad. Everyone was forgetting their lines.
I know you guys know your lines and you know how everything. I think it's just different when you're practicing at home than when you're coming here and everyone else has their lines.
I think it was definitely part of the fact that we were in the theatre and not like where we were rehearsing beforehand. So it was definitely something. But I think because of that and the way that Hannah reacted to it, it definitely sparked us to kind of maybe not put more effort in it, but like really try the bestest.
Do we need to have like an hour at my house where we just run it again, even if it's just lines?
There was a level of confusion for what how to actually continue. So I said, guys, what do you need? And they said that they wanted to do a run through before coming to the theatre again, which I can understand. Like right in front of them, I said, right, we are free this day, we are coming over at this time, and we're going to read this whole script. Was kind of the main thing I could do with keeping my cool and my composure. And I'm not saying that I was freaking out. However, internally, maybe, but I don't know how well that came across.
Yes, so can we come and do that, please?
So I'm here then.
Okay, and then it's Siobhan. Beautiful. Wave.
For you.
Okay, stop.
I would say it was shambolic. I think, could have been better. But at the same time, I wasn't deeping it too much because I was kind of like, it's all going to come together.
It was okay. It's fine. It's a new set. That's what I'm just thinking. They haven't been here since the audition. They know their lines. I'm not saying that to convince you. I'm saying it because I know. They do know their lines. It's just new. It's blocking. I'm glad we went over the beginning and the end. I've never done this before.
That was the worst rehearsal I think we had in the whole entire time, even though it was like one of the closest ones to the actual show. Or afterwards, I remember going home and immediately doing my lines with my dad, immediately, because I was so scared.
To sum it up in one word, I would say, if I was in Shakespeare times, I would call it a tragedy. I actually have no words.
Okay, I think that speaks for itself, really.
I think Canada's really scary.
I mean, obviously me and Hannah are really close friends. Obviously it's a stressful situation. We were so close to the show. We were messing it up very badly. So it was quite a scary thing to have someone that I know to be so kind and joyful, to be so stern and but it's her role as a director and she does such a good job, so I wouldn't have changed anything about her directing.
The next rehearsal.
Yeah.
Turning up, how are you feeling?
Not great. I was feeling really nervous.
Come on then through then, guys. What we'll do, do the little bit of... Get the girls.
So we went in a bit more positive, but the great thing was that really put an excitement to it was that the lights were ready.
The colours, they're like the logo. Guys, facts, look.
And I was so excited. No boxes were broken. Everything was looking good.
Esme, what's your... Is that on? Yeah, everyone with their, you're a soldier. Which hand? Okay, guys. Right.
I loved doing the social media. It was so much fun. I had a bit of experience already with campaign stuff and having a general theme. So that second rehearsal, we started to make some TikToks.
Don't laugh.
We look miserable.
We had made a couple before in the barn. And I used sounds from Outnumbered, from Motherland.
Oh wait, that is the candle. Hi. I'm gonna do it one more time because once you were laughing, but
following a trend from which I think started from a southern gender reveal.
I'm your mama, and I think you're gonna be a bubblicious bundle of joy.
I'm your me mom boo, and I think you're gonna be a beautiful baby boy to strong man.
All that sort of stuff to pop in a bit of comedy and to also give the girls some creative freedom.
I'm gonna be bullied for this. I'm glad you can't. It's not good. I'm gonna be bullied.
It's fine.
And it was just a nice change of pace because I was fully aware how I sounded and how I came across that first rehearsal. I think it added a really nice change of pace and it was so successful for the marketing of the play.
We got posters.
These are our set posters because we're set in a doctor's office. Sharon, I think, at one point, she's just walking around looking at the set posters. That one looks cool.
I like that.
But I should have probably counted how many fetuses I drew. I don't really know how many.
I was quite lucky with the set because it's minimal. The script literally says that there's 5 chairs and there's a table. There was no excessive requirements. I suppose I put a coat rack in for Sophie's coat. The set was really simple and it had to be because rehearsals were here and rehearsals at the theatre were very minimal. I needed to use things that I could set up here and have them be not too unusual for the cast to come into, because that was the main struggle for when we started the first rehearsal. You know, we didn't really know how to translate it from my house to the theatre, and by having the set just being chairs and tables and like using the same kind of key props, that sense of familiarity I think calmed a lot of people down and they were used to it.
How are we doing there?
Very pregnant. I'm about to pop. At least my water is okay.
Oh,
let's go.
Being pregnant with the bellies, how was your experience?
It was strange. I think, especially once we finally got the bellies, it got so massive. Like, you don't realise how big it was until I see the photos from it. And it was so huge. But I feel like I kind of miss it. Like, I miss being able to put my hands up on it.
Is there anything from our notes on Tuesday that we want to rehash before we go straight for a run? Okay, right. I'm not going to be looking at my script. You guys know this. Well done. How did that feel? How's this go?
I've never been more relieved in my life. They really ran with it. We went over kind of like key issues after the first run, so like the entrances and the exits, and it was just so good. Everyone was acting more like themselves. The characters were coming through a lot more, and I just felt a weight off my shoulders. I was like, I'd be happy to watch that.
It's going really well. Today's run was so much better than last Tuesday. Tuesday was stressful, can't lie. Yay! And we're all very excited. It's so good.
But I was thrilled. I was practically skipping around the theatre.
Guys, it went so much better today. I'm so happy. Last week I was really scared because everyone kept messing up their lines. It's all going wrong. But today it was so good and I'm so hyped. It was just such a good vibe because we'd actually done a good rehearsal after having such a bad one, like the first one at the theatre. After it being so bad, we had a second one where everyone had gone out, revised their lines and just made sure that we were putting on the best performance to make Hannah proud. And it was just the best thing ever.
Hannah, how did you feel?
Really good, thank you.
Give me a one word to describe what just happened, our rehearsal.
Bamboozled.
Amazing.
Scrumptious.
Scrumptious, I love it.
Guys, quick, it's 8:57.
Last rehearsal before the shows,
Yes.
were you feeling prepared?
I was worried a bit in the sense that the second one could have been the best yet. There's always that little bit of lack of consistency when you're doing dress and tech runs because there's a lot of stop-starts and everyone's a bit nervous or that sort of thing.
I want to hear you. And good luck. Everybody go to places.
Already forgotten what it
Oh, it actually feels like I don't like it. I have a playlist. I'll show it to you after this first run.
You can play it.
Amazing. Brilliant, brilliant. That's exciting. Yep, already.
The main note that I got from one of the cast members was to do it twice because we had 2 hours. The show was around 40 minutes long, so we had time to run it twice. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure. If that's what you need to feel comfortable before doing the show in a couple of days, easy peasy. First run was great. It was how it usually was. There were just little minor things that I needed to remind, like where we put the chairs, all that sort of stuff, but nothing to really stress about. But the second one is where it went to go a bit downhill.
Right, guys, let's set up.
Let's go.
Guys, don't have time for this. We're in a time crunch. In the past, I've always been like, when doing like local production and stuff, I've always been one of the older cast members and like had more of a like directorial role, I guess, in air quotes. So usually it's telling a lot of younger children to just be quiet and, you know, you've got to get stuff done. And when it came to rehearsals here after a school day and we hadn't seen each other for a week, there was lots of chatter, which I do love, don't get me wrong, but I just kind of think we've got to stay on track. And because we had such a short space, I just wanted to make sure it was all done, because I'm that type of person.
Bit of mind at Reese. Bit of mind. What's that? Spit out. Anishma.
I'm gonna name her. Esme got the giggles. For some reason, someone said something, I think she got her line wrong and she started to laugh.
Denise!
Whitsia then joined in, like the devoted wife she is. She started to laugh. That led to Lily. Then that led to me.
just...
You need to stop!
We were a third into the play. Everyone was talking. You could tell that I think everybody had gotten a bit comfortable.
We'd get a bit too confident with it.
Into your... Nah. Moves away.
No, we can still hear you!
Sophie was kind of a pillar here, being like, guys, can we stop? Let's just move on.
There's me got the giggle. I blink 2 massive teardrops. I couldn't keep focused.
Eventually, there was just a bit of a moment where we were all sitting there laughing.
Please keep going.
Esme kept on laughing, she kept on stopping, because this was a lot of her like monologue kind of blocks, and so we really needed her to like push through. And then Sophie immediately snapped out of it. She was getting on. Me, maybe less so.
Find your perfections in others.
Today's rehearsal was fabulous. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I am going to cry about the fact that it's our last one.
I think the show was ready. I think there was a sense of kind of like joy. Like we were all quite content with where we were at. We knew that we could do the show if we wanted to. We knew that there was no need to really stress by that final performance.
I felt really positive and really like excited. We all knew what we were doing. We all got our lines right on that last run.
I felt pretty prepared. Maybe not 100%, but like, yeah. No, I felt confident that it was gonna go well and that hopefully the audience would like it. I wasn't sure how many laughs we were gonna get, but...
I was able to show them the house music by that point. So everything was connected together. Sam showed me how to work like the buttons backstage and in the wings. So the playlist originated because of my love of Instagram stories, sadly enough. So we had classics like Justin Bieber's Baby. We had some like Nina Simone, I think, at one point. We just put them all together, and I had this Spotify playlist that I could not only play in the theatre, but I also uploaded it onto the Instagram so that people who'd already seen it could listen to it, the cast could have it, and it was just a really nice collection of like little inside nods, I suppose.
I'm just looking at the Babies Everywhere playlist for the house music. I need roughly 30 minutes from this playlist, and it's an hour and a bit. I got carried away.
When I was getting in the car afterwards, I was like, okay, we've only got a couple of days and then we're doing it.
How are you feeling before the first show?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird because I think it might have still felt a bit surreal. It was really hot that day. I was a bit all over the place because we'd all just come home from college.
I'm cutting this grape.
Trying to not chop my fingers off.
So everyone came here into the barn. Some people were running lines if that's what they felt like they should do. Some people weren't. We were peeling grapes.
Right, doesn't matter. Can we please run lines?
I know, I'm trying to find the point.
So I don't...
Are you okay? Are you feeling stressed?
Well, I wasn't, but I am now.
Why is that?
Because I just want to get on with it. I was really stressed. I don't know why, because usually, like, with other productions I've done, I'm perfectly fine up until, like, 2 minutes before. But this one, I was just really panicked.
Also, I was excited to do it because I've not performed in ages, and I was like, yeah, get on the stage.
I think I almost cried, but it's just because my only other experience was GCSE drama, and obviously everyone else was stressed as well and they'd done other productions, I feel like it was quite different for me. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who had never been on a stage like that before.
But I have so much faith in you. You've done so well these past couple of months. It's gone so quickly.
Morale was like getting better. Everyone was more excited. But obviously there's always going to be an underlying tone of nerves. And I was excited to see like the programs in place with the drinks in place and, you know, full on light sounding, but being in the wings was going to be such a big change.
You didn't get the pudding.
Yeah, they're in my bag.
Yeah, ticket sales, to put it nicely, were the bane of my existence. Like marketing is one thing, but actually having to achieve certain numbers was so stressful because they came out during half term. A lot of people were away. A lot of people were like, oh, we'll do that later. So I found myself having to chase things up.
We have sold around 92 tickets, I think.
That's really good.
We had over half capacity for both nights at a certain point. I was like, that's good. And we've got a substantial audience, but it was really difficult.
It's like a few hours before the first show.
It is an hour and a half almost. So we're going to the theatre now. I need to set up all of the drinks, which are in the back of the car. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. Rehearsal room. Oh, I'm feeling weird.
Feels a bit sad, doesn't it? This is where it all started a few months ago.
No. That's the whole thing. It was meant to be nice, quick.
I feel like I've been hit by a bus, but it's going to be fantastic.
That's the quote of the century.
Well, that was the first time we had our front of house staff. They were here on their first show, so I gave them the drinks, I gave them the programmes, and I said, that is now your problem. I'd like to come out and I'd like to see it all set up, do whatever you feel like, but I have full faith.
I need to put them up, but if you just do that.
So I went back and I did kind of what I usually do during rehearsals, except I gave them a bit more of a pep talk. Some of the girls were very much adamant on like reading through the script and making sure they know their lines. Others I could see were not keen on that because it was just stressing them out.
Go over it. Yeah. Can I take that from you, Sharon? That's so stressful. Now,
Do you want to cuddle?
briefly. Now, for your separated team.
But I thought it was probably best to just disconnect.
We need to calm down and we need to connect to the song. When I first posted the audition photos,
I can hear you, I just need to not look at you.
please remember everything we got this to. Just projection, interact with each other and enjoy yourself.
And it went so quickly that next thing I know, the audience were coming in.
There's 40 people here.
Yeah, but that seems like more than...
And then there's 60-ish tomorrow. Oh my god, I'm sweating so much, I'm really stressed out.
It was such a relief though, seeing the audience come in.
3, 2, 1, Baileys! You guys are having fun! Guys, it's going to be amazing. Very, very best of luck. I will come in just before I
And all of a sudden, I saw a man that I recognised, but only from like a little icon image. And I was like, oh my god, I think that's the author.
That was the craziest thing ever. It was insane because we didn't even realise he was coming that night. It was like sort of a surprise. And when I saw him get up at the end waiting for us, like my heart fell.
I said, guys, I think that's the author. In hindsight, was that the best thing to do? Probably not. Everyone, as soon as I said that, said, Hannah, don't say that. And I was like, well, they are. They're here.
I was so nerve-wracking. It was so scary because, as I said before, once you go on there, it is relief. And you know that you've just got to do it. And it's muscle memory, but when you're waiting there, it's the worst thing in the world.
It's an ensemble cast, piece, whatever. But obviously, because it turns out this big plot twist is the fact that I'm not pregnant, it is sort of, in a way, as if she's leading the group, which was a bit stressful at times. So it was just hard to find a balance of like, she's a loud character, she's trying to lead the group, but I don't want it to be so much so that everyone else is like, not overtaken, but that sort of thing.
Because I already have a cameo in the show.
Repeat after me. You are strong. You are powerful. You can do this.
I used a sound clip of my voice over it, and I really liked having that. I felt a bit like Stan Lee, don't know why, but like I liked having that little bit of me in the script. When you are sitting and spending hours watching the same scene and same bits over and over and working over it, it's so hard to like watch it with a fresh pair of eyes. But being in a different perspective in the wings and hearing the laughs from the audience and laughs that I hadn't laughed at and like jokes that weren't funny to me anymore because I'd heard them so many times, it was just like rejuvenating. I was watching it and you could see the girls really getting into it, and I just felt I want to be a part of it. I don't know, there was I don't know why. And then I thought, a lot of people are there for me, to support me in my EPQ. I might as well stick my head out and give it away.
We were talking about in the bows, you gestured to them and then you gestured behind you. I'm going to pop out from this. Oh, I didn't think you would like that. I'm prepping for my surprise appearance.
So I spoke to Will and I spoke to the girls that came off first, and I said, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm just going to pop out in the bows.
I had no idea it was going to happen until it happened, and I turned around and she was just there, and I was like, oh my god, Hannah. Yeah, I was surprised. It was really good, and you know what? I think that it was a nice add-on to the show, you know? because she deserved to have her moment in the spotlight after being, the main person behind this.
And it was orchestrated so quickly because, as we now have gathered, these girls are professionals. They know what they're talking about. When I say, just point to me after gesturing to Sam, and they did it perfectly. We just had Will giving me the heads up and the go ahead. And I think it went really well because the crowd loved it.
You're going to point at me when to stick my head out.
Really happy that it went well. There was a slight mishap because I skipped mine, but so I was a bit worried and stressed about that because I didn't know how Hannah was gonna feel about that. But I was just happy that we'd done it and it hadn't gone terribly wrong. It went well, so yeah.
I was so hyped because it went well. Pretty sure, I think one thing might have gone wrong, messed up one line or something, but nothing crazy. And I was just like, oh, yeah, so fun.
I think it was a cute moment. It's good. We're going to do it again tomorrow.
It was a really good first show. I was so excited. There were so many people there, old drama teachers and that sort of stuff. So there was a bit of a reunion at some points. But I just found myself running around and I was cheering with the girls and then also trying to pack things up. It was a bit chaotic because obviously we had to do it all over again tomorrow. I was really excited. I was celebrating, but I hadn't gotten to the nerves of the next show yet.
You're director, that makes sense. There you go.
Surely enough, Stephen Smith is in the building. Lovely guy, really such an icon.
God,
Oh, did we do it right? Was the character change okay? And did I play what he wrote properly? Because obviously it's his initial idea and it would have been not his baby, but it's a really big project for him. So it was really scary, but he loved it.
Hello, we're in the car on the way to the final performance of Parentcraft. What's your say hello?
Excited.
I feel unwell, but that's okay. I'm very sunburned.
Yeah, I'm feeling...
It's not as bad as yesterday.
It's fine. I'm feeling fantastic.
I'm feeling excited.
I am excited because yesterday did go really well. There's a couple of not even notes, but just a couple of comments that we'll go over. Either way, whatever happens, it's going to be great. I'm really excited. Final one, it's kind of making me sad.
It's making me sad. I cried about it earlier.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Not sure what just happened.
On the Saturday, I had a plan that I wanted to give the girls a little bit of something. So obviously just a free programme, a poster from Parentcraft that we had put up across the town. But then I printed off some of our favourite photos from rehearsals and from the dress runs and that sort of stuff because it was all easily imported and stuff. So I made little bags and I put in a little note to each of them just to kind of say thank you because I really wanted them to know how much I appreciated it and cared and think they're all amazing. But there's only so much you can actually say in person because it's just nice to have a little memento and I think they all loved it.
Just a little bag for you.
It's been a pleasure. So
it's been a pleasure.
Every second.
Lows and then so.
Thank you very much.
Have a bit of a look through. There's writing on the group photo. But it's not a lot, guys.
I'll add it to my memory.
I did not expect her to do that. I felt quite emotional actually. I was like, oh my god. And it was really cute. She wrote a little message on our photos and I was like, oh.
I just felt really sad that it was over, but also really happy and proud of everything that we've done.
Oh, I don't want to read it because I might cry.
Don't read it right now.
So happy. I think I cried. It was just so special because of course there was lots of stress and there was things, obviously not arguments, but everyone has their moments. We had all this, everyone was really worked up before the show. If I'd made it feel all worth it, that we'd become all of us would become really close friends. And it was just beautiful that she cared about it as much as sort of we cared about it.
And this made me know it's
so cute.
I'm sad.
Oh god,
she's so cute. Obviously I wanted to get her stuff. Gonna get her flowers, gonna get her chocolates, gonna get her grapes, just because grapes are an ongoing thing in this show. And I was like, well, your goal is you have to get this into the theatre without her seeing. And usually the first show, Hannah didn't stay in the dressing room. However, she decided on this evening that she was just going to stay in there. Right, okay. Go through the loop. Sign the card, go. And the point was, my dad had everything in his car to give to Will, so Will could bring it into the dressing room while Hannah was outside. But Hannah would not leave. She came in, and I just remember everyone kept looking at each other. Wootsy kept looking at me, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, oh, can you go and find this? Can you make sure the mugs are in the right place? She was like, oh, I've already done it. Very helpful. So Will finally went to go and get the flowers and everything, but by the time he'd got them, they literally bumped into each other. We think she saw half of it, not everything, which is good, so well done, I guess.
I thought it was so lovely, like preparing everything for Hannah, and she really deserved like to have a little gift at the end of it for all how much work she put in.
Just put it in the envelope.
I've written on the envelope.
How are we feeling pre-show?
Fine.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Oh, that's crazy.
Fantastic.
Lit. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to check to see how full the house is. There's nothing else I can tell you guys, they've just got it. I'm so nervous. It's going to be amazing. Just projection, confidence, funniness. We've got some really great people in the audience and you're going to be amazing. Off we go.
They are cracking the fuck up.
I love it when they laugh. In a comedy, you want to hear a laugh. That's what you're working for. And when we achieve that, it's such a good feeling. Obviously, I'm not the one saying the lines. I'm not the one doing the bit. But I directed it. I made sure this happened. Even little things, like one of my favourite pieces of the show, I had it from when I first read it. It was when Wootsy and Esme, they pop their heads out behind Sophie and they look at her because she's, doing lunges and thrusts and just being a weird person. And I love that piece of direction. And the moment it was perfect, it was just sold. And the audience laughed at that. And that's the very beginning of the show. And I knew it was going to be fine. It was like such a relief. And every time they laughed, I was like, oh my God, they did it again. Oh my God. Like, get a grip.
That's okay. She should be able to clear her throat like the rest of us. Hashtag pray for Sophie.
Sophie had a bit, like I think it was a page where she didn't really say much and then she chips in again. And so she was sat down acting pregnant, all that jazz. And then she spoke and it was just not her. It was somebody else's voice. And I was like, oh no, she's not going to want to clear her throat on stage. And she tried to play it off a little bit, but she needed a drink of water.
We've got some rescue water on the way because Sophie's got a croaky throat. And in the teacups, we've put a bit of water in them. Do you know which one's safe? Yeah, but I don't know. I'm going to pass it to her because my hands are kind of... I know. I forgot about my last, but just because it's at the back, she won't go back.
I was like, I need to put it to the right side so it's closest to her. But I wasn't sure if she was aware of that. It just happened to work out, but I didn't know if it would.
Mission accomplished. Yes. She's got the water.
Right, well, got a plan. I'm gonna drink some water on stage. It's gonna be okay. But in the moment on stage, when I was like, okay, I don't think clearing my throat discreetly is gonna work anymore, I was very panicked. Didn't know how many more words I was gonna be able to say without sounding like a frog or just having no words at all. But thankfully, by the time I got the water, it was all right.
She's looking at me. Oh my God, the show's almost over. No, the show's almost over. We're almost done. Watch Lily's reaction. It better be good. That was okay. It's so stupid. Once the show is almost over, you're like, oh, maybe I could have done something else. Confidence. You covered it well. I'm glad that right one was picked up. Oh my God. I have to do my cameo. I'm scared.
Do you know what I feel most sorry?
Off we go. Show's over.
The girls did so well. Once again, the little cameo section was loved because there were so many people that closing night. It was just brilliant. Like, obviously, did the show go without like any issues? No, but they just worked with it. Everyone knew the script so well. Everyone knew the goal. We had become a proper unit of a cast that they did such a good job, and I was just so pleased. Like, I think I had a bit of a moment where I went back to the original idea and then the auditions and making the cast list, and the fact that we had gotten to this point was amazing, and it was done. And next thing I know, we're getting ready to go. I felt really touched that they had like put in this effort. I remember it really well when we did something similar for my previous directors, or like for my drama teacher. I knew exactly who had orchestrated it. Thank you very much, Sophie. The card was beautifully done. There was like everyone had little messages, and it wasn't, I didn't do it for that, but it was really, really sweet of them to do. And I was bound to get emotional. It had been a very long day. It was very, like, it's not an anticlimax, but you just get so nervous and so excited, and then it's done in 40 minutes. And then I got a nice card, so made my day, really.
Well done.
Oh, Jesus.
Here she is.
I am just really proud of the whole experience, but most importantly of Han. And like at the beginning, you know, we were sat in a theatre watching a show when she decided that she wanted to do a theatre production for EPQ, and I'm really happy and grateful that I got the chance to be in it and like experience it with her, and I'm just really, really proud of her.
Really sad because of all the friends you've made and all the like just great experiences you've had, and it's just sad to let that all go, but you know, all good things have to come to an end.
It was such a part of my routine that it's kind of felt odd, like the usual rehearsal day. I was just kind of sat in my room like, well, what am I gonna do now? It's just quite upsetting, and I kind of wish I could do it all again so I could just relive all those months with all these people every day. And
just was a dream. I loved it. Everyone I worked with, everyone I spoke to, even if it was just a small conversation about advice, everyone was so helpful, and I really don't think it could have gone better. Like, everyone did their very best, and I was so pleased. I just loved it. There's really not much else to say.